Bootstrapping a startup is usually the initial way to start and retain founder value by building your company with your own time and expertise. You may be able to bootstrap your business to profitability for a short period of time, but ultimately, a cash infusion may be necessary for expansion or sustainability, especially if you have competitors. This causes one of the biggest challenges for small businesses, the issue of getting adequate financing. The two most common approaches are debt and equity. Do you know the difference between the two approaches? Hi, I'm Brandon and I'm a certified financial planner. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments and subscribe for more. Let's get into it. Equity investments are commonly considered a form of financing in which incoming capital is exchanged for ownership rights in a company. This could take the form of partnerships or equity fundraising from angel investors, crowdfunding platforms, venture capital firms, and eventually the general public via an IPO. First, let's talk about angels. They are generally wealthy individuals who invest directly in small firms. They are often leaders in their fields who contribute not only their expertise, but also their network of contacts, which may also include some technical knowledge and management skills. Angels tend to finance the early stages of the business with investments in the order of $25,000 to $100,000. Venture capitalists, on the other hand, prefer much larger investments, typically starting at $1 million at a minimum. Now, venture capitalists who invest more than angels, as we said, more than $1 million, they expect a healthy return quickly. Venture capitalists invest in the most promising startups in high growth, technology-driven sectors, such as information tech, communications, and biotechnology. In exchange for risking their money, these investors reserve the right to oversee the company's management practices. In concrete terms, this may involve a position on the board of directors and reassurance of transparency from founders. They take an ownership stake in companies to finance the high risk of those early stage startups. Then, they usually take an equity position in the company to carry the promising but higher risk projects, which involves giving up some ownership or equity in your business to an external party. Venture capitalists always expect a healthy return on their investment, often generated when the business starts selling shares to the public. Be sure to look for investors who bring relevant experience and knowledge to your business, not just because they have a lot of money. Aside from investors, government agencies provide funding such as grants and subsidies that your business may be able to obtain. The Canada Business Network website offers a comprehensive listing of various federal and provincial grant programs. If you want to see a video on this, just let us know down below and we'll do one on this topic as well. Generally, equity financing has greater potential to bring more cash than debt. The growth of capital can be much slower without equity financing. Most early stage startups are unable to secure debt based solely on their intellectual property, since banks and financial institutions typically want to see a track record of cash flow or liquid assets, and they don't like risk. Additionally, good equity partners may make it easier to secure more attractive debt later on and bring in others with a vested interest if they have connections and experience. It is important to note that equity financing also means losing absolute control of your business, affecting every micromanaging aspect of your company. It may even result in you being replaced by your partners if you do not retain enough board seats and voting power. A lower ownership percentage could also mean that you have to split the profits in the event of a sale or just regular cash flow. In some cases, some investors may be entitled to any positive returns before you get paid. So what's the other option, aside from equity financing? That would be debt financing. Equity financing isn't the only option when it comes to funding your business, and many founders will have a combination of debt and equity investments. Debt can be used to benefit all shareholders, including founders and investors, to fund the growth of the business without further diluting the ownership position of existing shareholders. Despite this, debt financing is not always easy to obtain for startup companies, especially from traditional banks. However, it is possible. Bank loans are the most commonly used source of funding for small and medium-sized business. Different financial institutions are specialists in different ways. Typically, the larger banks will not be lending to very small companies, while some of the mid-size and credit unions, they may be more inclined to lend to entrepreneurs, especially if those entrepreneurs have a track record. Like everything in life, it's a good idea to shop around and try to find the financial institution that best fits your need. Generally, bankers look for companies with a solid track record and excellent credit scores. The best course of action is, of course, to have a solid business plan and good cash flow records. We did a video on this previously, which I'll link to in the description. Entrepreneurs may often be required to provide a personal guarantee in order to obtain a startup loan. If you got some value from this video, please drop a like or a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.